This is the second episode of MiLLi Chat right here at the MiLLi Summer School 2022, and we're currently at day 5 of a 10-day intensive training of summer school offered by MiLLi. And today I'm joined by one of the board members that is serving on the MiLLi board. It is Lelanie Basson. Welcome to MiLLi Chat.
Hi Joe, and it's wonderful to be at the MiLLi office.
Now MiLLi was started in 2015, and since then it has been around to empower young people. What would you say has been some of the milestones for MiLLi?
So I think MiLLi's gone through like any sort of like organization. If you take it from a startup phase to so I'm an entrepreneur, so I use that sort of like lingo and all of that. So so from a startup phase, I think MiLLi's gone through some extensive growth. In the past, I would say probably 12 months, and if you take also how we needed to navigate COVID. Also from a governance perspective, increased capacity around the board. We've brought on new skill sets around legal. We've also brought on new skill sets around entrepreneurship, and we've also had a bit of a transition within leadership on the board itself. So I think, as an organization, sustainability and growing, you can see that as a healthy organization that's happened in the past. And then also I think from a capacity building and the youth development perspective, as you would know, we've taken over about 160 or 170 facilitators that have now been trained within MiLLi, and over 2,000 participants across the country that have been trained under the MiLLi philosophy. So I think, in a nutshell, those are probably the most important and the key highlights around it.
Some amazing achievements, right? They're also key in terms of transparency, accountability.
Absolutely, everything that MiLLi stands for, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
So now that the groundwork has been set out, where do you see MiLLi in the next 5 years?
So I think the MiLLi sort of like philosophy program, and as you would know, right, it's not just about media literacy, right, and interrogating media sources and things like that, but it really is about, in my view, where entrepreneurship and education come together, right? So we have, if you think about it, Youth Day was just celebrated now. I think it was about 12th of August.
12th of August, yes.
And globally, where there's about, the youth voice is about 1 billion strong. In Namibia, we have about 60% of our population, fall under the youth category. So the youth is definitely, a sector or a voice that can't be ignored. And so what MiLLi really does is that, yes, it's got the component of the media literacy and information element, but it also is an element of entrepreneurship, right? We know that unemployment is at a high in our country. We know that we've got a lot of social ills, and a lot of social issues that need to be addressed in our country. So it really gives that ingredient of where entrepreneurship and education meet one another. So we impart skills. Skills development is about capacity development, and that you can actually have something that you can actually turn into a business, whether it's an education business, whether it's a media business, etc., etc. But it also gives, sort of like from the young, from a youth perspective, it also builds confidence, it builds character, it builds connection within communities, etc. So the idea around that also would be is that if we build that within our youth sectors, right, there's no reason why this should not be exported to other African countries.
Definitely, and the fact that it also equips young people to not just take information at first hand, but to question information for sharing and also experience.
So in the society that we live, where information is coming at you from all spheres and centers, and at an alarming speed, right? You also have you have AI, you have technology that goes with it, and it's scary to see what technology can do now with somebody's identity, right? So it really is about interrogating those sources of information, and the MiLLi program is absolutely, it's phenomenal in that sense. And I would actually expand it across from, I also have a very strong corporate background, but expand it to the sense that it's not just for the youth, but it's also for others as well, to really see like, how do we interrogate media today? How do we make sure that we don't succumb to fake news and spread lies? Everybody can have an opinion about news, which we should all have our opinion, but we sometimes get our knickers in a knot around something that's not even true, something that's false that's put out there.
Most definitely. Now, MiLLi has trained over 2,000 young people in all 14 corners of the country. What are some of the benefits of these young people to be part of or to join MiLLi actually? What is the benefit?
So the benefits really is what I talked about earlier is that if you look at let's just take something such as unemployment, right? let's take education, right? So not everybody has education is a right, but not everybody has access to education, not everybody has access to information, right? So the benefits would really be about, there's a sense of community around MiLLi, there's a sense of support around MiLLi, there is building of character, building of competence, and building of confidence, right? So even if you're sitting in one of the regions, you're like, why should I be forming part, why should I even join a summer school, why should I get involved, why should I do a youth project under MiLLi? It teaches you skills of how do you budget, how do you put a business idea or plan together, and how can you create opportunities for yourselves, because we can't constantly rely on elders, on government, on on others to create opportunities and platforms for us. And with MiLLi, it gives you those skills to impart and to actually build something for yourself and for your community.
Most definitely. Now, thank you so much, Lelanie, for joining us today and just giving us a different aspect of what MiLLi has achieved over the years and what MiLLi is going to be achieving in the near future. And it just shows the growth the MiLLi has undergone under your leadership as being part of the board, and how MiLLi is continuing to grow by partnering up with different youth organizations across the country. And it's one of the most influential organizations in Namibia, because which other youth organization is trained in all 14 parts of the country, not only in urban areas, but also expanding to the rural areas where information is also very much needed and important. So, any final words?
Thank you, Joe. Thanks for having me. But I think I also must say that, you mentioned something under my leadership. Yes, I think I'm part of it. But the big win around MiLLi really is it's a collective effort. It's a collective sport. And that we couldn't do it without the input of everybody involved. So, currently we're 5 board members, and everyone has an important role to play. So much so also this office that we're in right now, our partners, Kota, definitely other, partners who we'd welcome to, come on board, is that we can only reach and we can only amplify if we work collectively in collaboration with one another. So, thank you very much for having me, and I wish you guys all the best with the summer schools that are now taking off.
Thank you so much for joining us for another family chat right here on the MiLLi social media platforms. Please do follow us and remember our hashtags for summer school. #MiL my responsibility, #MiL my youth power.